We're here today at Howard's Wood in Dorset, standing in this wonderful broadleaf woodland. I'm here with Helen, who's the woodland owner, and wanted to ask you, what were some of the reasons why you planted this woodland in the first place?
Well, my father-in-law planted the woodland in 2002, and his twin reasons for doing it was firstly as a timber crop and secondly as an amenity for the village. So that's he was just retiring, he was selling up, and he kept hold of 13 hectares and he planted the wood then.
Yeah, and how many trees do you think he planted over that 13 hectares?
It was about 24,000 trees. So that's a lot of trees, and we've obviously started thinning in the last few years.
We can see actually it's quite a wide variety of species that you planted here. Could you tell us a little bit more about the species that you have planted and why?
Yeah, well, it's important to have a variety, and we have oak, ash, cherry, lime, field maple, and all these sort of trees that you'd want for a timber crop. We've also planted crabapple and lots of different shrubs which are good for encouraging wildlife. So I think it's really important to have that mix for a healthy woodland, and to encourage wildlife whilst growing timber.
Was it an easy decision for your late father-in-law to plant a woodland on this site?
It was a big decision for him. He was coming up for retirement and was selling the farm, but he wanted to retain this land, and he could have carried on getting an income from it from maize. He had it let, but the availability of a grant to plant a woodland did make a big difference, and it was something that he'd always wanted to do. He saw it as a legacy for the village and for his sons. And yeah, having that grant available meant that he could take that decision.
We're situated very close to the village of Netherbury here. I wondered how that has impacted your decisions of how you manage the woodland.
Well, from the start we were obviously very keen to encourage walkers to come into the woodland, which they do. And over time things have developed. We've started doing a bit of forest school up here, so we've had children come up and visit, other community events, short courses. We've got a woodland base here, and so there's been this kind of community involvement, and it also brings in some income into the woodland, because under the 28-day rule, which is a planning rule, you're allowed to use a woodland for purposes other than agriculture for up to 28 days. So we take advantage of that and use it to bring in some income and also to benefit the local community as well. So it's really important, I think, that the woodland is at the heart of the community, and it is here.
And do you see any value from the trees in terms of how you manage the woodland?
Well, obviously the overriding thing is that it is a long-term timber crop, but that doesn't affect these other things happening around that, and obviously there's community things happening. We can sell firewood to the local community from thinning, so it kind of all links together really well, and that's something that's developed over time. We didn't really anticipate at the beginning how things would go, but slowly that has developed, and we're in a really good position now, I think.
You've mentioned some of the benefits that you've seen the woodland already bring. I'm quite interested to hear about some of the wildlife benefits that you've seen in the woodland.
Yeah, well, that is really incredible, because originally this was a maize field, and as the woodland has grown, the wildlife has grown with it. We now have got a woodland that's alive with bird song.
Yeah, I could just hear chiff-chaff singing now.
Yes, all sorts of woodland birds. I've seen young hobbies hunting dragonflies across the lake, and we've got butterflies, we've got more bats. It's really incredible, the amount of wildlife here now, and I just love that. I really enjoy coming up here just to listen to the dawn chorus, which is just beautiful in the woodland, and later in the day, as the sun starts to go down, I can watch bats, and it's just beautiful to be here then, and I think it's really good for for your mental health, actually, to enjoy those times in the wood. And when you're out working, just to have that around you is so great.
What would you say are the top tips for creating new woodland and managing it after that?
Well, first off, it's really important to get good advice from a woodland officer, and to, start the right way. And then as the woodland grows, I think it's important not to panic. There is time to do things. Once you get around to thinning, you can perhaps look for help with that, and we did that. We actually have students from a local agricultural college that have come in and helped with that. It also helps with their training. So that's been really useful. You don't have to do everything yourself, is the message. Also for us, creating a management plan was really important because it helped us to focus on what we wanted to do. And things change all the time because different opportunities arrive, or people make suggestions and you think, well, that's a good idea, we'll do that. For example, the community stuff that we got involved in. But if you have a management plan, then you kind of know the direction you're going and what you're trying to do. And there was a grant available for that, so we were really pleased to be able to do that, and it's made a big difference.
Yeah, and those grants are still available for creating a woodland management plan and for woodland creation also. Details of those can be found on the gov.uk website. Well, thank you, Helen, for letting us come and visit your woodland and talk to you about it. It's been great to walk around it and work with you on it over the past few years, and I look forward to seeing more of it in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.